Yo, my man. Yes.
Are you spying on me? Look, I'm just out here, all right? The hustle.
Right. The hustle. What about the grades hustle? The book report hustle. The kind of hustle that matters, that won't kill you.
Hey, stop playing. I got shit to do.
Sure you do. You don't include waiting out here for trouble to find you. You're supposed to hide from trouble. Keep out of its bullseye.
I've had a target on my back since the first grade, Dre. Ain't nothing you say gonna take that off of me.
That's true. But everything you do will keep the gun from firing. Mama ain't raised us
And
like
now
this.
she's dead. She left us. We out here, alone. So who gonna come for me now?
I am. Because I'm not just your big brother. I'm the only family you got left. And you're the only family I got left. I ain't trying to see you forget that.
Look, I gotta make something out of myself. I gotta make a name. So if you come out here and you see my body in that chalk, that's my choice.
When Mama died, you lost that choice to be a gangbanger. You gotta ask what she wanted you to be. Ain't no choice in that.
All right, welcome back, guys. We're here at the OP Podcast Show, Entrepreneurs Club, and in this episode, we're gonna have Malcolm Farrell as a guest. He's from New Jersey. He moved here to Texas a few years back. He's an aspiring actor. He went to U of H. He graduated. He has a background in journalism, and he's been highly influenced in the acting and entertainment business world since he was very young, and he's been highly focused on that. And so that's something we respect right here. And as an aspiring actor, he's been actually in the multiple films that have had rewards, and he's gonna in this episode he's gonna describe a little bit about what it's like to work and deal with the entertainment business world. So, Paul, like, what are some things that he's accomplished? Because I know you know him for, when you worked at the Houston Rockets stadium and stuff. Why don't you go a little bit on that?
Yeah, so I first met Malcolm working for the Houston Rockets. We were part of a marketing team, kind of like a street team. I got to get to know him. He was a highly impressionable type of guy. And, over the years, I've seen him grow, from that job into other roles following his, dream of being an actor. So,
Yeah.
he's come out in everything. He's come out in a film called Tijuana Jackson Prison Over Purpose. He's featured in numerous magazines, most recently the Baytown Sun magazine, and then so many commercials. So he's been in a commercial for Whataburger, for Adidas with James Harden, Ozarka, just to name a few. And, it's amazing to see his growth. And, on this podcast, we kind of dive into those experiences more. And, we're able to see what it's like being on these casting calls, his growth, talk about the pandemic and how it affected the industry and more, all throughout the
Yeah,
segment.
man. Yeah. And we wanted to have him here because, just to talk about his experience and just reflection on that. And I think a lot of people that watch us here and even us can take some leadership skills, for what it's like to be an actor. So that's particularly the reason why we wanted to have him guest on our show, is because we can see his grind. If you go check out his profile, that's where you can see like his commercials. You can see all the hard work he puts behind just trying to come out in these films and be recognized by articles and stuff. But you can check him out on Michael Farrell on Instagram. But right now, hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of the OP Entrepreneurs Club.
Ozzy Oz, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Can't complain, man. In New Jersey right now, so I'm an hour ahead of y'all. Oh, but
Oh,
nonetheless, though, man, you know, we making it work, man. Anything for Paul Trinidad.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro. That means a lot. I was telling Ozzy, I was like, well, because he's like, how do you know Malcolm? And I was like, well, I applied for this job, marketing associate with the Houston Rockets. And I was thinking I was the only one. And then I showed up and there's 20 marketing associates. But I was like, that's where I met Malcolm. He was like a cool dude. I could tell he was making his own moves regardless of this job. And that's kind of where I met you. And did you end up? How long did you stay at that job? Because I left about after 6 months.
I was there it was like I was there, but I wasn't there because remember I had the surgery. Remember?
Right.
So we started in August.
Yep.
And then I worked for like 3 months, and then I had my surgery, and then I stopped. I want to say February, I think, around there. But it just wasn't working out. Only because it was just getting between acting, and it was a great job, and I didn't want to feel ungrateful for it because like how you said, it was 20 people out of 600.
Right.
Ozzy, it was like 600 people that applied, and it was only 20 of us that made it. So it was like
yeah, he was telling me about that.
Yeah, it was like
I mean, especially working around there in Houston, it's highly competitive, but. How was that experience working together, both of you guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I liked it. It was cool. It's not really marketing-ish. It's more so a street team. So, like we set up a lot of events. We tell people about what's coming up, raffles, just a representation on ground, of the Houston Rockets. But it was cool, man. It was dope for sure.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. No, yeah. So that's why I asked him because I was like, man, like, how do you know Malcolm? Like, I saw your profile on Instagram and stuff. I'm like, this is a cool dude. Because I remember, on our OP podcast, I had seen. I think you had posted a Whataburger commercial, and I was like, I didn't know who's this. Like, I thought this was like a legit commercial on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, we're following this person. He's following us back and stuff. But I have recently seen your articles and stuff, and so you've been acting for a very long time, huh? Since you were like really young.
Well, it was always in here. It was like I always knew I wanted to be an actor, but it wasn't until I graduated high school and I moved out here, I was like, yo, I need to start doing what I really love. So for 10 years, I started my process in 2011. And from there, I was just taking classes. I sucked. I was trash at acting at first, but I knew I really wanted to. Like, I knew that was my passion. So I wasn't just going to stop there. But yeah, it's coming up to 10 years now, man, that I started acting. And I just try to tell people in the last 3 years, it's been really working for me. And it just sometimes things take time, man.
Yeah, man. That we've been talking about here, like the incremental progress. Just being aware about like you're saying, like in acting, you saw yourself as you needed work, but you stuck through it, and you're working through it, and it's been 10 years, and now you're really seeing the fruit of that. So have you been so you're in New Jersey right now? Have you done acting gigs like just in New Jersey and Texas, or what other states have you gone?
LA, Texas, and Jersey. Well, Jersey and New York, pretty much. So I was born in Brooklyn and stayed there for 4 years. Then I moved to Jersey, and that's where I was raised, Piscataway, New Jersey. But every time, the summer break came and during college, I would come back here and I would take like acting classes, incentives. Pretty much they're like classes that you can do a scene in front of a casting director, whether they're casting for Power or How to Get Away with Murder or whatever show, whatever. Right. You can perform in front of them. It's kind of like an audition, but more so scene study class. So I was doing that in New York. So I was just getting my training still, A
lot of grind, huh? You're grinding.
It is. You gotta have it. I tell people all the time, man, you gotta have that passion for it, because if not, you're just doing it for just for the glory of it, just to look like you're doing something on Instagram. But if you was to see my shooting probability of no's to yeses, you would be like, why are you still doing this? And that's the thing. People only just see the wins, but they don't see the losses that you take too as well. People don't understand that This is the only profession where you go out for an interview audition and it's either you get it or you get no feedback as to what you did wrong,
Dang.
Mm.
And that could be kind of mind fucking a little bit. Like it's like, oh my god, what is
Man,
wrong? Or you start
gotta
reflecting.
you gotta be mentally tough. You got to, because it you gotta have super thick skin, but
Yeah.
you just gotta have that drive, and it comes down to, is this your passion? Is this your blessing? Is this your gift? Or is it just something that you're just randomly doing because someone else is doing? That's just my biggest thing. And I just try to tell people, the famous quote, it takes 10,000 hours to master something.
Right.
On
I've heard that,
average,
yes.
Yep.
on average per day, how many hours are we going to dictate that to our craft? We have to sleep and we have to work, get up and do work. After work,
Right.
X amount of hours, you put towards it. So I just tell people, that's just my thing. A lot of people say, I want to get into acting. Do you want to put in 10 years? Because that equates to 10 years with
Right.
work and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
You're right,
that 10,000 hours, So,
So what are some of the ways, like you said, you don't get always a lot of feedback? What
Yeah.
are some of the ways like you have to push yourself constantly? Like how do you do that?
so I'm always reading, watching either actor interviews, their take on acting. There's there's plenty of YouTube videos where you can see and watch, it's tools on the business, or just tricks on how to better your performance. Things like that keep you, it's like training. It's like an athlete. You gotta, you gotta lift weights. You gotta train your mind. You gotta understand too that, hey Paul, if your happiness on camera may take you to be like a 10, it may only take me to be a 5.
I see.
Okay.
Like Jim Carrey is naturally like that. So that's maybe a 2 for him, being extra like that. But for me to perform at that level, maybe a 15.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I see what you mean. It's like sort of a gradient, and you got to work your way down to that, sharpen that, refine that.
Exactly.
You only do that with time, right?
Definitely, Ozzy. Definitely.
So
Dude,
would you say
yeah,
go ahead,
for it.
Ozzy.
Yeah, man. No, I was gonna bring up talking about that, like you've been following us for a little bit, so you've kind of seen how we've transitioned our brand into entrepreneurship club, and just basically focus on people like you, man, that like to grind and stuff, and make it happen, man. Like you put in the time, and we want to show those people to people that follow us and stuff, so they can in a sense get inspired. And me and Paul were talking about, because one of our latest episodes we did on Chadwick Boseman, because we always talked about him. We liked his movies and stuff. And do you see like people like him, or what type of iconic actors? You mentioned Jim Carrey too. Do you kind of look for and then try to kind of like I said, emulate in a sense, or who do you kind of use for inspiration?
Chadwick Boseman, man, first and foremost, recipes to him. That really hit me hard, because you could tell he was a genuine person.
Right.
Like he was a gem, and I'm just like, man, and that's how you're doing great as an actor, when something happens to you and people fall in love with, a Black Panther. It's like, man, it's not just Chadwick Boseman anymore. It's just it's Black Panther, and that's a great impact that I would love to have eventually for myself. But definitely Chadwick Boseman, man. Michael B. Jordan. I like Damson Idris. That's Snowfall. He's the lead character on Snowfall. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's on FX.
I haven't seen
I
it.
think I've seen the commercials. Yeah. But I haven't.
Yes.
Not too familiar.
Jacob Lattimore. He's on The Shy. Pretty much those last two are people around my age, because they call them pace cars, where it's somebody that's ahead of you but not too far out of reach, that you can't, like it makes the dream more obtainable as you follow them. It's like you're behind them, but if you're following them, that means you're on the right track. You know?
Yeah, you're getting some of that energy that kind of leaves off of them if you kind of get close enough to them.
Exactly. Like, they're established, but at the same time, it doesn't, the dream doesn't feel so out of reach.
Right.
Being behind them.
Yeah.
Of course, you know the great Denzel, man. He's just phenomenal. To just have a long career in acting, it's just like that's everybody's gonna talk to. Like,
Well, I wanted to. I was like, well, if we're having Malcolm, maybe I should promote him as the young Denzel, but I don't want to be too
Hey,
ambitious.
man, I don't mind it. I know my friends say that, from time to time.
Let's do it.
Everyone loves Denzel, man.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
one of those
like
characters.
it's a great compliment. Yeah, for sure. He has, man. His catalog of movies and stuff is just phenomenal. But yeah, those handful. I'm sure there's more people for sure. I like Tessa Thompson. She's a great actress too as well. Everything that she does, I love. Um, but yeah, man, Leonardo, man, as Leonardo was just one of those acts where he started from young,
Right.
still going.
Kind of like a prodigy in a sense, yeah.
It's very hard to do that. To start from, I knew when I was younger, I was shy. I couldn't have done acting when I was young in front of a camera. And then, people don't know when you're shooting something like us. Like say if this is the camera stuff. There's like 35 plus people behind the camera looking at you because it's the crew.
Right.
So that's like half of the work you got to do as an actor just to get comfortable with and not think about that, huh?
Yeah, and that comes with experience, like it comes with just auditioning and it's just you have to do with acting to get comfortable with that. But yeah, if that took me a while, just random people just looking at you, but you still have to perform at a certain level regardless.
Right. So you look at acting as a craft, as a talent of yours, or do you feel yourself you could indulge a little bit more like into the entertainment business world and all that? Do you want to do that, or how do you see yourself as an actor?
I would say it was definitely a gift. I feel like it's a blessing. I always tell people no one pushed me to acting. My mom didn't even know I was into acting until 2011. But when I was younger, I was shy. Like I said, I never knew how to go about. I knew there was auditions and stuff, but I just wasn't at that point to make that first step. And then I think I got really talented at it when I started putting the work in. Like I said, it was, it was up here.
You synchronized in a sense, right?
Exactly. It was just like, I had to make sure they coexisted because up here I knew that I really loved acting. Man, all right, we came through. My first.
We good.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, man, the first few classes was rough, but I was addicted to just getting better because I knew this was really what I wanted to do. But yeah, as I continue to progress, I would love to flourish as an actor, and also to dip back into the broadcast journalism stuff, whether it's hosting things, like some of the stuff that I did in college. But definitely, I see myself flourishing as an actor. So
Malcolm, you kind of mentioned finally maybe like pushing yourself, becoming mentally sharp.
Yeah.
What was kind of like the first gig where you kind of felt like, okay, now I can see the ball rolling? Like that first breakthrough gig that was maybe difficult, but like you'll always remember it.
I think there were two, and one was the Tawana Jackson movie that just came out July 31st. That was the first time I've ever been in LA shooting a movie at that, like full-fledged Romney Malco, Regina Hall. Like that was a full like set.
Was that intimidating?
Yeah. It was. I can't front. Yeah. But luckily at that time I was playing a journalist, so I was like, oh, I do this in real life. But it was just, it's something about. It's like when a boxer's in the ring and you hear that bell go off.
Ding ding. And all these pros are on the audience and you're ready to go and they're all
like
singing.
Everybody's watching you and someone else, it's like you got to perform now, and it's the same thing. It's like, okay, you ready? And you're like, yeah, action. And you're like, okay. And at that time, I'm super thankful for it because maybe I wasn't 100% ready for it, but that's just how it is. It's like everybody has a job. You have a job for performing as an actor. The director has
you earned a reward for that gig, didn't you? Is that what you're talking about with the journalist?
Best editing. Oh yeah. It was best editing in the Brooklyn Film Fest. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Did you enter that or was was it like the whole, I guess, producers or whatever into that? Because I kind of read your article and you were like, 3 or 4 years later, you kind of recognize that, right?
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 years later because we shot that in 2017 and it's just now coming out.
Wow.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, and it's
Dang.
so
Do you forget about that sometimes, or
you know
you kind of keep it behind there?
after I forgot about it. It was like and then it came out. It came out at a great time. You know,
It's
during
kind of
the
like
pandemic,
seeing,
everybody's on.
you see your younger self, like in a sense, you know. It's like
And you
looking back in time.
and I saw how I've grown. Like I can tell, like from the viewers didn't know I was scared on the inside, but I'm looking at myself. I'm like, man, I could do that scene way more natural now and have fun with it.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing as well. But I'm sorry. What was the question?
I was asking like sort of your breakthrough gigs. You mentioned
Okay,
there's
yeah.
probably 2, so you have another one as well.
Yes, man. So this was how I knew I was getting better at with auditions, because that's a big part of the process too as well. Is auditions. You know, you can have the look, but if you kill the audition in a bad way, it's just like you're done. So I auditioned for, at the time it was like Techco, like that was the name. My agent got it. He was like, hey, you got audition for a Techco company, she said. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was in Austin, and I did it, and they liked me. And then the whole process is a callback, and that's where it's for the actor is you have to seal the deal. You got to do everything you did the first time, but now it's like the executives of the project isn't there. It's like in person now.
Okay.
So I killed that. Man, come to find out, Techco was just a cover-up name for the real brand. The real brand
was what?
Apple.
Oh, Apple.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
for
So I
Apple.
guess they kind of have to do that in a sense.
Exactly. So during the audition, they was just like, you just gotta just act as if you're on a tablet or something, just like this, or da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, well, and it's like smile, and I did all that, and then my agent was like, man, like you booked Techco, and I was like, okay, Techco, whatever. So I go there. It was in Austin, and I pull up, and I always know whenever I see a big crew, I know it's either a big company and they got money, because it costs to have everybody on payroll for this. And
Good
also
observation.
yeah, that's confirmation. And then also too, as I'm pulling up, I see the craft services, which is food. And if I see a big spread of food, I'm like, oh yeah, they got money. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they got money. So I pull up, and usually at work, I don't really get anything to eat in the morning unless I'm like super starving. I may eat a banana or whatever. But I pull up, it's so much people. They're like, hey, Malcolm, how are you? Da, da, da. He was like, get in the van. We're going to take you to set, the location. I said, all right, cool. I pull up, more people walking around setting up. And I see I see some of the people that auditioned with me. And I'm like, yeah, man, so you know what this is for? Like, I don't know. It was like, hey, I think it's for Apple. But no one knew. They didn't tell us yet. Because they were so focused on setting everything up. And then later on, this dude that handles like the technology came out with this big like briefcase that like waterproof. You can shoot an AK in it. It won't break nothing in it. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? So today you'll be handling the XS Max, the Apple Watch Beats by Dre, and the Beats headphones. And then the creative director was like, by now, I hope you guys know this is for Apple. We don't take no pictures.
Dang, because like it had to be so secretive. I mean, it's a huge company. Bro, dang.
Ozzy, Paul, I'm talking about. We had police escorts. The hotel that we shot for that first day of this, it was a 2-day shoot. That scene, it was like 5,000 a night in Austin. I forgot the name, but it was 5,000 a night.
Probably was that big ass building, the tallest one.
The Fairmont one. The new one?
I forgot the name, but the family owns like two more or something like that in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 5,000 a night, and we only used it for like 3 hours for a party scene. Then we shot somewhere at like a bar with like a live band that they paid for, and then we shot on like this railroad for like this. I forgot where it was at, but I'm talking about one day. The photographer, they had one photographer with his crew, then they had another photographer with his crew that was all paid for. And me alone, he shot like 1,000 pics, and it was like 4 of us.
Wow.
Wow.
It was 4
Dang.
of us.
So
Yo,
how long was all this project? Over how long was the time? Is
it
this
was
over 3 hours?
no. It was from like 8 a.m. to like 5 in the morning, and 5 at night.
Dang, that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Whole
But
day.
they were taking care of you, huh?
yeah.
And
Now
and
they
then
were, they were. You know, it's hurry up and wait. Like they'll say be here at 8, but they just want you to be on set, but you're not doing anything yet until a certain designated time because they gotta set up the scene or whatever
right,
the case
right.
may be. But yeah, we shot at Barton Springs too. That was a cool
Nice.
shot. Yeah, man, it was dope. But one of the downfalls of it was at that time we shot it in August or September, and that same fall they came out with a whole new line of devices, so it never came out.
Oh,
Wow.
so
Never came out.
oh shit. That I guess that's the business world, right? Where
It
they
is.
just freaking put all this money into it in case it comes out.
Yeah,
Or
In case.
yeah. I
dude,
would say
but
they
I
should
bet that was
spend.
a nice experience for you. Yeah.
It was no, it was. It was a great experience because I got to. They were cool. You know,
Right.
Apple's one of those companies like Google. You know, you go to work, but does it really feel like work? You know,
Right.
everybody's chill. You know, hip in a sense. So, but yeah, it was nice just seeing. You know, shooting on Barton Springs. You know, having Apple products, XS Max, all that stuff. It was dope. It was a dope experience. The food was great. The people were great. But yeah, man. So the contract actually ends next year.
Okay.
And yeah, I think by then because I know the photographers, they're hiring photographers. They're gonna use that for their page for the website that they worked for
Oh,
Apple. Yeah, so they were just like, regardless, if I don't see it personally, there was only one person from the project that saw her in an ad, but everyone
yeah.
else didn't. But we
Oh, okay.
couldn't use it. Yeah, we couldn't promote it or anything until the contract ends. So next year, I'll check the
Okay.
photographer's website
So,
and see.
Nice.
so how long was that contract? With 2 years, 3,
3 years.
3 years, and so 2 years was before the pandemic, and this year was with the pandemic. How has that been affected? The acting industry in general and all that.
At first, it was a complete halt until the industry was like, "All right, we're losing too much money. Like,
Yeah.
we're not.
You gotta keep rolling the ball.
Nobody's doing anything.
No movies
After
being made.
yeah, it was like all of the shows that were shot a year ago are finally getting dropped now. So it seems like they're shooting, but they just started picking up in month 5 of the pandemic. So they're just
Wow.
finding better ways on how to be safe with it. Like I know I've been getting tested. Every project I do book, I get
Yeah.
tested for it. You know?
So it's they're you guys are basically kind of adapting over the pandemic, and then to hopefully things open up and you guys kind
Yeah.
of can feel more comfortable to
Ex-
engage more and stuff, right?
Exactly. Because like scenes, it's like if me and you guys were in a scene, we're fairly close, so
No, exactly, right.
yeah, they got to make
Can't
sure.
film with the face mask on.
Yeah, like whether you're even thinking it further, where it's a guy kissing a girl or something like that. You just
Right, that's a great point. Like, did
it
he get
calls.
tested?
Yeah, exactly, right. Like so, it's been a big adjustment, but the first few months I took a lot of classes. Everything turned to Zoom, so
Oh,
I
okay.
took like 4 or 5 classes. Like I said, I finished my book on self-management for actors. I've learned so much. I'm a totally different actor now than I was before, and maybe we just needed that time to just focus on ourselves. Like, okay, where are we
Right.
lacking? Where can we better ourselves? Like I said, I worked on the website. I got that out. That was something I needed. People were been telling me for 2 years, man, you need a website. So I finally got that out. But I try to look at the positives. I never act on a negative. I try to look at
Yeah,
the positive on everything.
that's good.
Sounds like
Optimistic, right?
it sounds like a lot of it is knowledge based, right? Even though the final product is just what you watch, it sounds like a lot of what goes into it really is using your mind, kind of research in a way. So
Yeah.
I mean, do you between projects, what are you kind of constantly? I guess what's your routine? You have a successful shooting.
Mhm.
Do you typically have them back to back lined up, or do you kind of have to reset every time? And get back in a grind and find a new opportunity.
It's very crazy because every time I finish a project, it's like I'm jobless now. I don't got a job anymore, So but you have to maximize every opportunity too as well. So I try not to think of it like that. It's just out of sight, out of mind thing. But as you continue to progress, your agent pitches you more because at the end of the day, they don't get paid unless you book something, So
Right.
it's
So they're kind of poking at you at the same time, and you have
okay.
to yourself, like you've been saying, like kind of studying about self-management. You have to be improving, right? Between that.
Exactly, man. It's once you get in that groove of like, okay, I became a booking machine, or I'm very great at being comfortable myself with auditions, and you found what works for you, then it'll start hitting even more now. But yeah, it's a balance, You like I can do a job today, and the threshold is you don't get paid until 1 to 3 months after you finish it. So that's
Oh,
also
I see.
money too, you
Dang,
know.
I
Yeah, a
see.
lot of people know that. Yeah, so and say if we shoot it today and the commercial drops tomorrow, that doesn't mean I got paid in a day
All
or
right.
two. It can air within a week or a month, but after payroll and everybody gets paid with the crew and things like that, it just takes some time, man.
Yeah.
So that's the business side of show business. I try to tell a lot of actors too as well, just to really know the show business of what you're getting into. It's
Yeah.
it's like the same age you found out that football isn't just football. It's contracts. It's
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
it's like it's not just football to us now. We're not younger anymore. Oh, I'm a good football player. Then you realize all it takes and how people get traded if you're not performing. Like it's that kind of business,
Dude, I appreciate that and sharing that too. I think this is great knowledge that you're sharing with that we can put up for our episode and stuff. So what projects are you expecting for the next years? What are you looking forward to?
Man,
What's incoming from Malcolm Farrell?
hey, we got definitely more commercials for sure. I do have a project, a new movie coming out next month. It should be called The People, and it's a very fun project. When the director Ricky Catter was like, "Man, I got this project I really want to do right now during the pandemic, and I would love for you to be a part of it." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, man." And it's pretty much a movie about different people handling the pandemic. Everyone has a different situation, but each character that's played in the movie, it's a monologue. So,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
the light
so
shines to each one of them.
exactly. So my character, he's just going through a lot at home, and his father just got the COVID, and he has to be the father figure now. He has to be the breadwinner too, as well as take care of everyone. And I'm like, man, this is such a great aspect
It's definitely
movie.
different. So it's like a compilation of these characters in a sense, and
Yeah.
then that compiles the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's
Definitely.
dope.
I'm definitely looking towards that just because we're in the pandemic still. You
Yeah.
know,
It's super
sadly.
relatable for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That and just more commercials are coming out too as well. The bad thing about it is, some you can't really talk about.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So
I feel that. Yeah, but you
yeah,
excited. Let's just
yeah,
leave it
yeah,
at
yeah.
that,
Excited.
right? And if you excited, we're excited, man. We
Yeah,
can't
man.
wait to you do release them and stuff. That's what's up, man. So where can we find you on social media? What are all your links? Tag them in and any
Hey,
book you're working on.
And the website.
hey, the website, yeah. So everything is Malcolm Farrell. MALCOLM FARRELL. That's on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The website, www.malcolmfarrell.com. That just released last week. But yeah, man, that's everything, man. That you can follow me, catch up with me, everything I'm doing. But yeah, it's all just my name, Malcolm Farrell.